Lesson 27, Using the Distributive Property to Multiply Polynomials. Here's part 1. Students are going to follow along with their instructor to complete each of these problems. Here's box A. We have 134 times 2, and we'll multiply using the standard algorithm. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 1 is 2. Final answer, 268. Here's box B. Solve the problem to the left by expanding 134 into 100 plus 30 plus 4 and multiplying every term in the parentheses by 2. So here we have 100 plus 30 plus 4, 134 times 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 30 is 60. 2 times 100 is 200. 200 plus 60 plus 8 equals 268. And notice how this matches our previous answer. Here's box C. Now let's use expanded notation. First, we do 2 times 4, and that really does mean 2 times 4. Next is 2 times 3, which really means 2 times 30. So we'll do 2 times 30 next. Then we have 2 times 1, which really means 2 times 100, and you see that written here. Finally, we'll add them all up and get our sum. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 30 is 60. 2 times 100 is 200. Add them up, and we have 268, which again matches our previous answer. Finally, box D. Solve the problem to the left by drawing an area model. So we'll draw an area model just like this. And we're going to do 2 times 134. So here's 2 times 134. First up, we have 2 times 100, which is 200. 2 times 30 equals 60. 2 times 4 equals 8. And notice that we have 268. 200 plus 60 plus 8 equals 268. Here's part 2. Use the distributive property to multiply. Take a look at box E. Here we have s squared plus 5s plus 6 times s. And it looks complicated at first, so just recognize that we've completed a problem just like it earlier here in box B. So let's use the same steps to multiply. Here we have 6 times s, which is 6s. Next we have 5s times s. So let's take care of the numbers first. We have the 5 here, write it down. Next we have s times s, which is s squared. And finally we have s squared times s, and this means s times s times s, which is s to the third power. And you can verify this by remembering that s is the same as s to the first power, and since they have the same base here, we can use our shortcut of adding the exponents. 2 plus 1 equals 3, and that's where the exponent of 3 came from. So our final answer here is s to the third power plus 5s squared plus 6s. Now for box F. T squared plus 7t plus 10 times 7. First we have 10 times 7, which is 70. Next, 7t times 7 equals 49t. Next we have t squared times 7, or 7 times t squared, which is 7t squared. So our final answer is 7t squared plus 49t plus 70. Finally, box G. U squared plus 5u plus 6 times 5u. So first, let's do 6 times 5u, and that gives us 30u. Next, we have 5u times 5u. Take care of the numbers first. 5 times 5 is 25. Now take care of the variables. U times u equals u to the second power, or u squared. And now we have u squared times 5u, and that gives us 5u to the third power. Final answer, 5u to the third power plus 25u squared plus 30u. Now for part 3. Use the distributive property to multiply horizontally. And notice that it says, do not rewrite the problems vertically. Take a look at the example. Here we have 2 times 100 plus 30 plus 4. And this should look familiar because it's the exact same problem that we had here in box D. 2 times 100 plus 30 plus 4. So we did 2 times 100, followed by 2 times 30, followed by 2 times 4. So let's do the same steps in the example. First we'll do 2 times 100, then 2 times 30, then 2 times 4. 2 times 100 is 200. 2 times 30 is 60. 2 times 4 is 8. 200 plus 60 plus 8 equals 268. Be careful with box H. Here we have 3 times 200 plus 40 plus 3. So we'll do 3 times 200 first, then 3 times 40, then 3 times 3. Next line, 3 times 200 equals 600. 3 times 40 equals 120. 3 times 3 equals 9. So we have 600 plus 120 plus 9. And we know from previous units that this can be broken up into 600 plus 100 plus 20 plus 9. 600 plus 100 equals 700. 700 plus 20 equals 720. 720 plus 9 equals 729. So our final answer is 729. Here's box J. 7 times t squared plus 7t plus 10. First step is 7 times t squared. That gives us 7t squared. Next we have 7 times 7t, which is 49t. And finally we have 7 times 10, which equals 70. Final answer, 7t squared plus 49t plus 70. Here's box K. 5u times u squared plus 5u plus 6. So first we'll do 5u times u squared. Let's take care of the numbers first. We have a 5 here. Now we have u times u squared. Remember, this is the same as u to the first power. So u to the first power times u to the second power equals u to the third power. So here we have 5u to the third power. Next, we have 5u times 5u. Take care of the numbers first. 5 times 5 is 25. U times u equals u squared. Next, we have 5u times 6, and that'll give us 30u. So our final answer here is 5u to the third power plus 25u squared plus 30u. Finally, box L. X squared times x squared plus x plus 1. So first we have x squared times x squared, and that gives us x to the 4th power. Next we have x squared times x, and remember that x is the same as x to the 1st power, so that gives us x to the 3rd power. And finally, x squared times 1, which is just x squared. So our final answer is x to the 4th plus x to the 3rd plus x squared.